This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
2 more shootings, 2 more deaths. Now here at 5 o'clock, what we know so far about what led up to the city's latest brush with gunfire.
And students at one college campus urged to watch out for a possible predator. A live report on how it's been all too common this school year at IUP Live.
And the Colts had won 7 in a row at Lucas Oil Stadium coming into Sunday, but that streak was intercepted by the silver and black. I want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana, 5 o'clock here on your Monday. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick, and it is the last day of September, but boy, it does not feel like it. Todd, we are going to be close to breaking a record today. If not, we might break a record.
You know, potentially 3 days in a row, we can break the record. And not only just the daily record, the all-time record high for the month of October is 91 degrees. And I know tomorrow starts October, but we'll still be in the 90s. So last day of September, going up into the low 90s as well. The record high is set at 89 degrees. That very much is in jeopardy later on this afternoon. So what do you need to grab before you go today? Well, just grab the sunglasses. You do not have to worry about the rain gear. You do not have to worry about the jacket. You can tuck that jacket away really probably until the end of the week, and then it will get dramatically colder, though, for those of you who are liking the fall-like temperatures. 60s and 70s this morning with a little bit of patchy fog that has settled in, especially here in northern locations where you saw a little more in the way of rainfall yesterday. So places like Lafayette over towards Peru into the Hartford City, Marion area, you could have a little bit of patchy fog. Not as much of an issue in southern locations, but this band of rain continues to push to the north as the heat starts to build in. So already up into the mid-80s by the noon hour with our high temperature forecasted to top off, Lauren, at 90 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on your roads. We want to show you some construction that we have scheduled until 6 a.m. this morning that you may need to watch out for here. The ramp southbound Keystone Avenue getting onto eastbound I-465. Again, that's scheduled to last until 6 a.m. And we did see some crews out there working earlier this morning from our camera. So keep that in mind as you travel on the north side. Now you can see on the right side of your screen here a little bit of a slowdown on southbound I-69. We want to show you that traffic camera here near I-465, the ramp system. We had a flashing arrow board. You can kind of see it on the very far right side of your screen. May slow you down just a little bit as they're shifting traffic over to the left. But overall, traffic in this area is moving along up to speed. We'll keep an eye out for any issues for your morning commute. Well, we are following breaking news. This is from overnight. 2 shootings leading to 2 deaths here in Indianapolis.
Police say a man is dead following a shooting at a northeast side apartment complex. The shooting happened around 11:30 last night at Kensington Square Apartments. That's near 34th and Shadeland. Police say they were originally called to a shots fired run. When they arrived, they found a man dead outside. Police have not released any information about a suspect so far.
Also breaking overnight, police are investigating a shooting on the southeast side that left a woman dead. This happened around 11:30 last night on Van Buren Street. That's near East Raymond Street and Sherman Drive. Police say they arrived to find a woman with gunshot wounds and say she later died at a hospital. So far, police have not released any information on the search for a suspect, but if you have any information about this shooting, please call Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS.
Police are also still investigating a Sunday shooting that sent a person to the hospital on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Officers were called to Shore Drive and East Highlands Way, where they found the shooting victim awake and talking. Police believe the person was actually shot at a nearby gas station on West 56th Street. They found another person at that gas station suffering from a graze wound. Police tell us they did take one person into custody. IUPUI is issuing a crime notice after a woman is allegedly fondled on campus over the weekend.
This is the 4th reported assault since the fall semester began, and students want to know what the university is doing to stop it. RTV6's own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live in studio right now. Kelsey, what's the latest?
So all 4 assaults have happened near University Tower at University Boulevard and West North Street. In August, someone was sexually assaulted while sleeping at the tower. Earlier this month, 2 people reported being fondled in the University Tower. And just this weekend, a woman says someone grabbed her breast while she was walking outside the tower before riding away on a bicycle. Students we spoke to say they want to know what the university is doing to make sure assaults like these don't happen again.
Like, are there more police officers on campus? You know, I know there's the Safe Walk program, but are they, letting more people know about what it is and how to get to it?
IUPUI representatives sent out safety tips to students asking people to look out for the safety of others and reminders to obtain consent for sexual contact. They also advised students to stay in well-lit areas and to be aware of their surroundings, to travel in groups, and to let their friends know where they're going. We'll continue to reach out to IUPUI for updates on these cases to find out if arrests were made or if suspects are still on the loose. Meredith.
Kelsey, thank you. And we also want to welcome Kelsey to our Good Morning Indiana team. $10,000 is going to help victims of human trafficking in our state. A group called Purchased held the Kick for One kickball tournament at Riverside Park, aiming to kick human trafficking out of Indiana. The goal is to raise awareness and help survivors of human trafficking. Purchased was started in 2008. Since then, the founder says they have helped hundreds of girls right here in Indiana who are survivors of human trafficking.
Well, when we first started, our mission was really just education and awareness. And what we found as we were doing education and awareness is that there were survivors in our city, young girls that were at risk for trafficking and had been trafficked. And there were, ways that we could help them.
It's affected people I know. I personally know people who have been sex trafficked. So this is close to my heart. But as we raise awareness, we're able to have people looking out for signals and being able to help girls and guys who have been trafficked to have healing and be able to go into healthy relationships and just have the support that they need.
The group has a mentorship program called Allies, where they match survivors with someone they can trust and rely on. It ultimately helps them recognize their value and worth and empower them to make life decisions that reflect that.
Here at 506, being able to connect with friends, family, and law enforcement is important for survivors of domestic violence. Money raised here in Indianapolis will now help to provide survivors with cell phones. TCC Gives is a nonprofit that started in 2017. Since then, they've expanded to 6 states and have given 770 survivors smartphones and data service. Ahead of Sunday's Colts game, they've held tailgating event at Crane Bay Event Center. The group says providing a phone to a survivor helps provide the safety and security to start over.
The phone is one way that somebody can reach out. You might be able to save a life, and that does make a difference.
It allows a survivor that's going through, I can't even imagine the trauma and drama that's associated around that event, but being able to have a phone to connect to family, friends, schools, lawyers, therapists, employers, potential employers, to try to really get their feet back on the ground.
TCC partners with 6 domestic violence organizations in Indiana, including the Julian Center and Coburn Place. If you'd like, you can help or donate your old phone to TCC at 22 Verizon stores across Indianapolis.
It was not the Colts' day from the get-go Sunday at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Oakland Raiders offense had been struggling, but they scored touchdowns on 3 of their first 4 drives against the Colts on Sunday. The Colts, on the other hand, looked sluggish, with the offense missing injured wide receivers T.Y. Hilton and Devin Funchess. Indy tried to come back in the 4th quarter, but the Raiders sealed it when Eric Harris picked off Jacoby Brissett and took it 30 yards for the touchdown. The Colts fall 31-24, and unfortunately, it does not get any easier next week as the Colts travel to undefeated Kansas City. All right, Todd, and this week it is going to be a scorcher out there, at least for the start of the week.
Yeah, the first half of the week, very summer-like. The end of the week, you'll be breaking out the jackets with temperatures that'll be in the 40s as we start off our mornings. This morning, though, it's warm, it's muggy, and we've been watching some patchy fog settle in. Visibility now down to a quarter mile in Lafayette. Not as bad in other areas, especially in and around the metro area. So the deal here is if you saw some rain yesterday, you have the better chance of seeing some patchy fog develop across the area. So just be aware of that as you start your morning commute. Otherwise, as soon as that sun comes up around 7:30, we'll have plenty of sunshine in the forecast with temperatures this morning that are in the 60s. This rain continues to work its way to the north. We'll have lots of hazy sunshine here throughout the entire day today. And look at these temperatures. Our normal high is 72, upper 80s to the north, low 90s here in southern locations, with some locales maybe 93, 94 degrees, especially areas that did not see any rain yesterday. Should get up to right around 90 here in the city. If we get to 90, that will break the record high for this state. More on the heat coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
All right. right, Todd, thank you so much. A big move on the impeachment front. Up next, how lawmakers looking at whether the president sought foreign election interference could soon hear from the person who's making those allegations.
And for some, it was the place to go to look good without spending a lot. But now it's the latest major store chain having trouble dealing with the rise in online shopping.
And we're keeping a close eye on your morning commute. Here's a live look from our INDOT traffic camera at I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Traffic in the downtown area moving along up to speed in all directions. Stick around. We'll be right back with more just after the break.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV6.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. North side drivers, here's a live look in your area, I-465 and Keystone Avenue. We do have some scheduled road maintenance on the ramp system from southbound Keystone to eastbound 465 until about 6 o'clock this morning. So just a heads up if you travel through that area. Well, we may also be about to hear directly from the person who got the ball rolling towards the impeachment investigation of President Trump.
The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee says his panel has reached an agreement with the anonymous whistleblower to hear their testimony in a way that will conceal that person's identity. That whistleblower says the president tried to pressure the leader of Ukraine to investigate potential presidential rival Joe Biden.
So when do you expect to hear from the whistleblower?
Very soon. It will depend probably more on how quickly the Director of National Intelligence can complete the security clearance process for the whistleblower's lawyers. But we're ready to hear from the whistleblower as soon as that is done.
Now, a lawyer for the whistleblower sent a letter to the acting director of the National Intelligence expressing fears for his client's safety. The letter mentioned comments made by President Trump last week calling the whistleblower close to a spy and alluding to the death penalty.
At 5:14, the strike at General Motors plants across the country entering its third week. And today, the union workers can start receiving $250 a week in strike pay. Almost 7,000 GM workers in Kokomo, Bedford, and Fort Wayne are among those walking picket lines for the 15th day today. The United Auto Workers Union wants GM to provide better path to temporary workers to gain full-time jobs. They're also calling on GM to improve its profit-sharing plan to restore money the union gave up as GM was emerging from the bankruptcy.
It was once a hot store for new clothes, but now Forever 21 is dealing with financial woes. The clothing chain that rode the boom and bust of mall shopping in the U.S. is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Forever 21 has more than 800 stores across the country, including 5 here in central Indiana. But company leaders say they plan to close up to 178 of those stores. So far, they haven't said which of those stores will close. Forever 21 is the latest store to lose money due to the increase in online shopping.
Here at 5:15, an Indiana company is recalling packages of ready-to-eat meat products due to listeria concerns. The products come from Fisher Packing Company in Red Key, and they were shipped statewide. They're packaged in late August and sold under the Fisher Meats brand. The products include ready-to-eat roast beef, smoked ham shanks, and Canadian bacon. They all have the number 74 inside the USDA mark of inspection. If you have any of these products, throw them away, or you can call the company at 260-726-7355. So far, no illnesses have been reported.
It's going to feel like summer here today, but in the mountains of Montana, winter has come early. A powerful storm has been bringing heavy snow across the state, knocking down trees and power lines and causing whiteout conditions. Some areas at higher elevations and along parts of the Rocky Mountain front have already received more than 2 feet of snow, breaking early season records. The snow is expected to continue into the morning hours today. Meanwhile, here in central Indiana, Todd, people might be seeking out a snow cone to stay cool.
Right? And that's what's so amazing about the weather. Weather is just a mechanism to make the earth at an equal state, an equilibrium. So it's really cold with snow in the western portion of the country right now, and we will be dealing with the record heat across the area. So our forecast high today is 90 degrees. The record high is 89 degrees, set back in the 1970s. As we get to tomorrow, it's probably another degree or 2 warmer as we enter the month of October. The record high for tomorrow, also 89 degrees. That was set way back in the 1800s. So this is some some really rare heat that we will be dealing with as we enter the next few days across the area. So it certainly has that summer-like feel. This morning you're starting off with a little bit of patchy fog that's trying to get going. It's a little more prevalent in northern locations compared to here in the metro area. But you notice as you look towards the lights there to the north of downtown, you notice a little bit of haze. 70 degrees is the current temperature right now. That dew point's in the upper 60s, so it's a little uncomfortable as well. And those winds are out of the south right now at 5 miles per hour. So we're in the 60s and 70s this morning anywhere you go across the state. So it's a warm start to our day. And look at the heat that's starting to build. At this hour in Sioux Falls, it's 74 degrees, 76 in Lincoln. You go just a little further, though, off towards the west, and it's only 47 degrees right now in Bismarck. And that's the cooler temperatures that'll start to head in our direction by the end of the week. But until then, the weather headline by far will be all this heat that we'll be dealing with and the sunshine. 81 degrees already by 11 a.m. Our normal high this time of year, 72. So we'll surpass that by the time we get to about 10 a.m. here this morning. 85 degrees by the noon hour. And then as we transition into the afternoon hours for you, we'll see our high temperature get all the way up to about 90 degrees. Again, the record high is 81. So that is very, very much in jeopardy going forward throughout the day. So the storm track is to the north. I spent the weekend with some family in Michigan. It rained the entire weekend and temperatures were in the 50s and 60s. Got just south of that front. By the time I got home last night, temperatures were in the 70s. So that warm front continues to push to the north, and that's going to allow our temperatures to soar the next few days. This evening, it's warm, it's muggy, 80s through about 9 p.m., and then eventually falling back down into the 70s. Tomorrow morning, you wake up to highs, or lows rather, that'll be in the 60s and 70s, and then throughout the day tomorrow, 91 degrees, potentially another record high. 3 days in a row, we'll have the potential of setting the record high. It's 89 for today, tomorrow, and also on Wednesday. But there are the cooler temperatures. That cold front comes through on Thursday. Then we'll look at highs only in the 60s by the time we get to Friday and Saturday. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic this morning as you're heading out the door to start your work week. And this is a live look over on the east side, I-70 and Shadeland Avenue. Looks like everything here is moving along just fine. No crashes to slow you down. Let's take a look at our traffic now map. We are monitoring this ramp work here on the north side, scheduled to last until 6 a.m. this morning. The ramp from southbound Keystone Avenue to eastbound I-465. Watch for maintenance crews in that area. We'll continue to keep an eye out for any issues and keep you updated.
Some of the best women's golfers in the world came to Indy, but it was just one who dominated this past weekend. Mi Jung-hur took the lead in the first round of the Indy Women in Tech Championship, and she never looked back. Her had to play through the raindrops during Sunday's final at the Brickyard at the Crossing, but she did not let it slow her down. Her won by 4 strokes to pick up the $300,000 first prize. And check this out. She got to celebrate Indy style with a milk bath on the Yard of Bricks. Congratulations.
Well, the last day of Major League Baseball regular season may have been bittersweet for some Cubs fans. It was the final game for the manager who helped to break their infamous World Series streak. The Cubs lost to the Cardinals 9-0 on Sunday, and after the game, the Cubs announced that manager Joe Maddon would not return next season. Maddon's 5-year contract expired after Sunday's game, and the Cubs announced they would go in a different direction after missing the playoffs this year. Maddon led the Cubs to 3 playoff appearances and, of course, that magical World Series title in 2016.
He's suspected of a series of armed robberies. Coming up at 5:30, how police say you can help them catch a criminal.
This man's art is really connected. We'll show you how he's taken a kid's toy and turned it into a world-class exhibit. That story and much more coming up after the break.
2 $4 or $5. America runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana, 5:24 here on our Monday, and we're keeping a close eye on your commute. And this is a live look for your drive up on the north side. I-465 and Ditch Road, traffic's moving along up to speed eastbound and westbound. No crashes right now around the metro area. Okay, so if you played with Legos when you were a little kid, you probably built some pretty cool stuff.
Maybe we should have kept playing them because we could have ended up like artist Nathan Sawaya. Nathan has an exhibit that is getting worldwide attention. It's called The Art of the Brick, and it's on display at the New York Hall of Science. It is the world's largest display of Lego art, featuring more than 100 intricate sculptures, and that means a lot of Legos, more than 1 million in all. His replica of Venus de Milo, 18,000 Lego bricks alone. Also, building these masterpieces takes time because Nathan uses a dab of glue to help hold the Legos in place. That means if he makes a mistake, he can't just unstick it like you do with the regular Legos. He has to chisel the little blocks off. I'm glad to hear that he uses glue, though, because if one of those were to collapse, if you've ever stepped on a Lego, you know the pain. So that would just be my fears, that one would collapse as I'm standing there and I would have to tiptoe through thousands of Legos.
Oh, that's crazy.
Or all the guys' hard work would be gone really quick. Yeah.
Also that. Whenever I think of Legos, I just think of the pain of when I used to babysit and I would step on one and
catch you by surprise.
Nothing compares to it.
Especially to get you in the right spot.
Yes.
So, all right, outside right now, there's a little bit of patchy fog, mainly in northern locations. Be aware of that, but it's not a widespread problem for us here this morning. Otherwise, we're looking at temperatures that will be holding in the 60s, but as soon as the sun comes up, we will warm extremely quickly, potentially record-breaking temperatures this afternoon. The record high is set at 89 degrees. Should get up to at least 90 in Indianapolis, and that may be a little conservative where it's been dry. Even warmer in southern locations, slightly cooler to the north, but obviously still well above normal. And it's not just a one-day deal. We'll let you know how long this heat continues across central Indiana coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thanks so much. Another weekend, more gunfire across Indianapolis. Coming up next, the city's latest 2 shooting deaths happening within just the past few hours and what we know so far.
And another alleged sexual assault on a college campus. We'll show you where the complaint was filed and how it's been a frequent occurrence on campus so far this school year. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A pair of shootings leaves 2 people dead.
Breaking overnight where the shootings happened and the latest on the search for those responsible. And a college campus on alert this morning.
4 sexual assaults reported so far this semester. Working for you, we're asking campus leaders if there's cause for concern. But first here on our Monday, we want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana.
Our Monday.
We want money, okay?
Yeah,
but it is
not
Monday.
The lottery.
Yeah, it is Monday, and we do want to talk about your forecast.
Yeah, there are going to be some big numbers popping up here temperature-wise. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is taking a look at those.
Yeah, and those are high temperatures later on this afternoon, potentially record-breaking here across central Indiana as we end the month of September. First, as we get you out the door, a little bit of patchy fog is settling in. Visibility now down to under 2 miles in Bloomington, a 1/4 mile in Lafayette. Not as bad here in Indianapolis and Muncie, but just be aware of this. These visibilities probably go down a little bit more here as the temperature drops another couple degrees this morning, but we should burn that off pretty quickly once the sun comes up. Temperatures this morning are in the 60s and 70s across the area, so it's already a warm start. Our normal high this time of year is 72, so here we are at 5:31 in the morning, and our temperature currently is only 2 degrees below where we should be for our average high. Skies are clear. We had some rain late last night that has now moved off towards the east, and it will continue to push north and east as the heat really starts to build in. Already into the mid-80s by the noon hour, about 85 degrees. High temperatures right around 90 degrees this afternoon. The record high is 89 degrees. That is very much in jeopardy as we get into the afternoon hours. Lauren?
Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out the door, maybe heading to work or school. This is a live look, I-69 near the I-465 ramps to our northeast. You can see lots of headlights out that way. Traffic is picking up, and we did have some construction in the southbound lanes, but it looks like everything there is moving along up to speed. Taking a turn right now to our Traffic Now map, we want to take you up to the north side where we do have some ramp work scheduled for about another half hour or so. This is southbound Keystone Avenue to eastbound I-465, but thankfully traffic there on the north side is still moving along just fine this morning. Let's head over to the west side of town, I-70 here near the West Airport ramps. If you're heading out to catch a flight early to start your work week, you shouldn't have any problems on the interstates. Everything is traveling up to speed. Well, we are working for you and staying on top of some breaking news from overnight.
Police say a man is dead following a shooting at a northeast side apartment complex. The shooting happened around 11:30 last night at Kensington Square Apartments. That's near 34th and Shadeland. Police say they were originally called for shots fired, but when they arrived, they found a man dead outside. Police have not released any information on the search for a suspect.
Also breaking overnight, police are investigating a shooting on the southeast side. Police say that gunfire rang out around 11:30 last night on Van Buren Street. That's near East Raymond Street and Sherman Drive. Police say that they arrived to find a woman there with gunshot wounds. She was taken to a local hospital in critical condition where she later died. This morning, police have not released any information on the search for a suspect, but if you have any information about this shooting, please call Crime Stoppers.
A university campus on edge after a fourth sexual assault is reported in just a few months.
Campus officials are now urging students to be cautious. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live with reaction from students this morning. Kelsey.
Well, there have been 4 reported sexual assaults near University Tower at University Boulevard and West North Street, all of them happening since the fall semester started. In August, someone was sexually assaulted while sleeping at the tower. Earlier this month, 2 people reported being fondled in the University Tower. And just this weekend, a woman says someone grabbed her breast while she was walking outside the tower before riding away on a bicycle. Students tell us these assaults have them on high alert.
Definitely on alert. I've been talking about it with my roommate and stuff, just being careful when we come back from class, because a lot of us have late night classes and it can be scary. I know I try to either be with a person or on the phone with someone.
IUPUI representatives sent out safety tips to students, asking people to look out for the safety of others and reminders to obtain consent for sexual contact. The alert also advises students to stay in well-lit areas, be aware of their surroundings, to travel in groups, and to let their friends know where they're going. We did reach out to campus leaders to see if any arrests have been made or if they are planning extra patrols in that area. We haven't heard back, but we'll continue to reach out. Meredith.
Kelsey, thank you. A former Marion County Sheriff's deputy is scheduled to appear in court today for a pre-trial conference. John Dorsey allegedly battered a man, quote, while in the performance of his official duties. Dorsey was fired back in May from the sheriff's department. Prosecutors charged Dorsey with 1 felony count of official misconduct by a public servant and 2 misdemeanor counts of battery resulting in bodily injury.
This morning, 3 separate Indiana law enforcement agencies are looking for 1 man suspected on going on an armed robbery spree. The Lebanon Police Department, Greencastle Police Department, and Owen County Sheriff's officials are looking for Devin Ewalt. This is the man seen in those surveillance photos. They say he's armed and dangerous. He's wanted in connection with at least 3 armed robberies, the first happening on September 23rd in Owen County at the Dollar General store in Gosport. He's also suspected of robbing a Pizza King in Greencastle on Saturday, and on the same day, a Dollar General store in Lebanon. Police say that Ewalt lives in Crawfordsville and was last seen driving a 2004 white Nissan Xterra. Authorities say if you do see him, do not approach him. Instead, call 911.
Now to hiring Hoosiers, an RTV6 initiative helping you make career connections. The Indiana State Police Department is looking for officers to protect and serve the state capitol. The starting salary is nearly $45,000. You must be a U.S. citizen and at least 21 years old when appointed as a police employee. The deadline to apply is October 21st. For more details on benefits and requirements, head on over to hiringhoosiers.com.
So when there's an emergency and dive teams need to respond, their equipment is critical in keeping them safe. Well, right now, dive team members with the Henry County Sheriff's Office say that their equipment is outdated and it needs to be replaced. In order to do that, they're holding a fishing tournament next month to raise money. RTV6 spoke with the deputy sheriff, who says having the equipment that works and that's up to date is a big need right now.
Not very many people go out and dive. There's a lot of people that don't like to go down in the murky water that you can't see, and visibility is no good. But someone's got to be able to go down there and recover different things that need to be recovered, whether it be evidence, anything like that. And so we have to be there to be able to go recover anything that's underneath the water.
Well, that tournament is set for October 12th at Summit Lake. You must register by October 11th. 50% of the money raised will go to the dive team. The other 50% will go to the team that catches the biggest bass.
We could find out in 2 months if the owners of a troubled Northside apartment complex can return to not paying taxes. The Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals held a hearing on a request to reinstate the tax-exempt status for Lakeside Point at Nora. The board gave the property 60 days before it takes up the issue again. Now, for months, RTV6 has been working for you, holding the owner of the apartment department accountable for the health code violations and residents living in unhealthy conditions. You can find our extensive reporting on those conditions at Lakeside Point at Nora by clicking on this story in the RTV6 app.
Reducing violence one child at a time. We're learning about the mission behind Indy Heartbeat, the community-based program put on by Eskenazi Health and the Marion County Health Department. Its focus on ending youth violence. This weekend, the group celebrated progress being made by kids they serve by hosting a celebration. These are young people that are referred to them from Indianapolis Public Schools, Metro Police, even the Indianapolis housing agencies. They have all experienced trauma in their lives. The group just received a $60,000 crime prevention grant from the city. Cora Tate tried to commit suicide earlier this year after she said she was bullied. She credits Indy Heartbeat with giving her the coping skills that helped to save her life.
Love myself, respect myself, just be me and don't let nobody else tell me how to be me.
We are a group that believes in direct services and reducing risk factors and increasing protective factors, and that's our focus. And so that's how we plan to utilize the money with naturally funding staff, salaries, and opportunities and programs such as you see here to continue to work and make a difference, to provide the families and the youth in the community a safe haven.
Grant money from the city will also go towards funding staff salaries as well as opportunities and programs for families. The ultimate goal of the program is to reduce crime and arrests among the youth and young adults in this program. The time right now is 5:39, and Todd Clausen standing by with what it's going to feel like out there today, Todd.
We really shouldn't be talking about humidity a whole lot at this point of the year as we transition further and further into fall, but it is going to have a very tropical-like feel today to go along with the heat, so we're in that getting sticky category and maybe even getting close to that very muggy category as we progress throughout the next 24 to 48 hours and maybe even beyond into Wednesday before we finally get some relief. So as the kids head off to school this morning, there's a little bit of patchy fog out there. 68 degrees, warm and muggy conditions. The kids come home from school. They'll be wearing the shorts and the T-shirts here, no doubt about that, with the temperature right around 89 degrees and mostly sunny skies. Highs today, especially in southern locations where you haven't seen as much in the way of rainfall. With the dry ground, you're able to heat things up a lot quicker. So low 90s from Bloomington over towards Columbus, mid to upper 80s to the north where you saw a little more in the way of rainfall. The record high today is 89 degrees for Indianapolis. That is very much in jeopardy. It's not just a one-day deal. We're talking about this heat through Wednesday. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. The United States may be on the path to its third presidential impeachment. After the break, how the president is pushing back at the opposition.
And here's the live look right now from our INDOT traffic camera to our northwest, I-65, State Road 334 in the Whitestown area. Traffic here looks to be moving along up to speed. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
Stay concealed, only from Mapley, New York.
Turning now to the whistleblower complaint and what could be a key moment in the impeachment battle.
As ABC's Serena Marshall reports, this morning the president's allies are coming to his defense over that phone call with the Ukrainian president.
As the impeachment probe heats up, the president's allies doubling down.
Salem witch trials have more due process than this.
This individual is a saboteur. First, did they have firsthand knowledge? And second, what is their motivation? Was there some kind of bias? This individual has problems on both of those counts.
Going on the offense, attacking the unknown whistleblower's credibility, even as the intelligence community's Trump-appointed inspector general found the complaint to be credible and of urgent concern. The president arguing he deserves to meet his accuser. Over the weekend, the whistleblower's attorney in a letter expressing serious concerns we have regarding our client's personal safety, explaining certain individuals are offering a $50,000 bounty for the whistleblower's identity, and cited these comments made by the president last week in video obtained by Bloomberg.
The spies and treason, we used to handle it a little differently than we do now.
Even with that concern, though, the whistleblower ready to testify.
We allow that testimony to go forward in a way that protects the whistleblower's identity.
A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows that nearly 2/3 of Americans saw the president's actions on the call as a serious problem. Even the president's own former Homeland Security advisor told this week he's deeply disturbed by the call.
It is a bad day and a bad week for this president and for this country if he is asking for political dirt on an opponent.
Congress may be on recess, but Democrats continue to move forward with that impeachment inquiry, setting up depositions, hearings, and issuing subpoenas. Even as the House Speaker says that call just one part of their investigation. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
People across Montana are dealing with snow and lots of it. A powerful storm has been bringing heavy snow across the state, downing trees and power lines and causing whiteout conditions. The governor even declaring a state of emergency. Some areas at higher elevations and along parts of the Rocky Mountain front have already received more than 3 feet of snow. Snow levels are already on track to break early season records. And we're going to possibly break some records here at home in central Indiana, Todd.
Yeah, the opposite records, though. We're not talking about cold and snow. We're talking about heat as warm temperatures are continuing to make their way back into the forecast. Honestly, this entire month has been well above normal, but we're kind of cranking it up another couple degrees here on this last day of September, where our average high should only be 72 degrees. We'll be past that number probably by about 8, 9 o'clock here this morning. We're dealing with 90s all the way through Wednesday, but then the cold front will come through and much cooler air will be in place by the time we get to the day on Friday. Here's the live look outside right now, and you notice there's a little bit of patchy fog trying to get going here in the metro area. It's not too bad in the city, but getting to some of the outlying areas. Lafayette, your visibility is down below 1 mile. Bloomington, your visibility is reduced a little bit as well. 70 degrees, that's the current temperature. The wind is out of the south right now at 5 miles per hour, and we're in the 60s and 70s anywhere you go, with Muncie being the warm spot, currently at 72 degrees. So here's how it breaks down throughout the day today. Already by the noon hour, we're at 84 degrees. By 3 p.m., we're talking about a temperature of 89. By 6 p.m., we're talking about a temperature of 90. If we get to 90, that will break the record high for the state, which is set at 89 degrees. That happened back in the 1970s. So the warm front is to our north. That's where all the rain and storm action is. We are clear back off to our west. You notice how the precipitation, whether it's rain or snow, kind of starts in Denver and goes up to the Dakotas and then down like this through Michigan. This is the core of the hot air that's building in. So the heat is pushing all the way up into Minneapolis. While this hot dome is what they call it is in place, we will not see any rain in our forecast. Once it starts to break down on Wednesday, that's when we'll enter the first chance of some showers into the forecast. This evening, 80s falling into the 70s. Overnight tonight, 60s and 70s for us across the area. And then here is your forecast for the day tomorrow, starting in the 70s, ending at 91 degrees. If we get to 91 tomorrow, which is October 1st, it would tie the all-time record high. It's never been warmer than 91 degrees officially at the airport in Indianapolis ever in the month of October. That was set back in 2007, so not long ago. You may remember that heat wave, but it's not a question. Maybe tomorrow we even could get to 92 degrees. Wednesday is going to be another hot day with potentially record-breaking heat before the change occurs. Some spotty storms possible on Wednesday as the cold front goes through, and into Thursday as well. And then by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, for all you fall weather fans, those will be the days for you, as temperatures will be down into the 60s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on your commute this Monday morning, and we still have some ramp work here scheduled for about 10 more minutes, southbound Keystone Avenue to eastbound 465. That'll be wrapping up shortly. Over here to the west side, your commute right now is just a 12-minute drive eastbound on I-70 from Ronald Reagan Parkway to I-65 at the South Split. No issues there to slow you down. And driving on the west side on eastbound I-74 through Brownsburg from State Road 267 to I-465. It's a 7-minute drive, so no delays there. Let's take a live look right now from our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 and Arlington Avenue. The southeast side looks to be traveling up to speed at this early hour.
Scientists are trying to figure out if cannabis can help children with autism. Researchers believe a non-psychoactive cannabis extract could possibly help with autism symptoms. Scientists are encouraged by the success the compound has had in reducing epileptic seizures. Researchers are currently conducting clinical trials on 100 young patients. Treatments last 12 weeks through June of 2021. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration considers cannabis to be a Schedule I drug with no no current accepted medical use.
We may not realize it, but people can get tuberculosis from deer, and CDC says a new case of someone getting TB from a deer has been identified. A new report says that 77-year-old Michigan man got TB in 2017 from an infected deer. The man had hunted deer in the same area where 2 other hunters were infected with TB from deer more than 15 years earlier. The CDC says the man likely inhaled bovine and tuberculosis particles while field dressing the deer. The CDC recommends hunters use protective gear when they're field dressing animals to prevent exposure to TB.
A Florida bus driver is being credited for saving a passenger's life. After the break, why this isn't her first time being called a hero.
Order yours today at WeatherTech.com.
This souvenir from NASA is out of this world. Literally, check it out. The Mars 2020 rover mission is part of NASA's exploration of the red planet. It takes off next July, and scientists hope the rover helps them answer some big questions about Mars, like whether or not there's potential for life. If you sign up online, you'll automatically get a souvenir boarding pass. Not only that, NASA will stencil your name on a chip using an electron beam, and then that chip will get put on the rover. But this is your final boarding call. You have to sign up on NASA's website by tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. A bus driver in Florida is being hailed as a hero after saving a passenger's life.
This happened in Friday at in the Miami area. A passenger told driver LaRonda Marshall that another passenger in the back was unresponsive. She stopped the bus and called for backup and gave the passenger CPR until the medics could arrive. First responders at the scene say that Marshall's quick actions saved the passenger's life.
Wear many hats. We're counselors, we're doctors, we're teachers. I would like to see the guy again, and I just thank God that he's living and he have another chance at life.
The bus driver is a trained nurse, and this was not her first act of heroism. She's come to the aid of 3 people in similar situations since she started driving back in 2011. And I know someone who rides the bus a lot, Todd Clausen. Todd, I bet we're all hoping that we're on her bus someday in case something happens, right?
All right, absolutely. Doing more than one job there. That's awesome to hear and see. All right, outside right now, temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. It's warm, it's muggy out there, and radar is nice and quiet. Some of you had some showers late last night. And where you did see those showers, especially in northern locations, there is a little bit of patchy fog out there this morning. And that'll burn off very quickly here, though, throughout the morning hours once the sun comes up. So it's warm, it's sunny. Heat index values will be in the mid-90s. The actual record high for today is 89. Here's my forecast high, 90 degrees. So potentially record heat on this last day of September. And we're just going to carry it over into October as well. More on that forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. A local program hopes to end childhood violence. Ahead at 6 o'clock, why one area student says the program saved her life.
And here's a live look right now at Monument Circle as we prepare you to start your work and school day. Stay with us. There's plenty more news, weather, and traffic here to kick off your Monday. It's 5:56. We'll be right back.